SENSE8, a Christmas special. Actually, my most anticipated hour of television for 2016. Or in this case, two.
Happy fucking New Year.
The true question is, did this Christmas special, did this episode of SENSE8 hold up to my tremendously high expectations now that it is my second favorite show of all time? Well, let's get into it. I'm not going to go into spoiler territory with this video. I don't want to reveal anything that should not be revealed, but you've been warned if I might say a little bit of plot points here and there from season 1. Something I really liked about this Christmas special was the fact that although it did hint on some very dark material that we're going to have to face for season 2, it was a rather lighthearted episode. It was more of a fun kind of hang out with the gang SENSE8 episode where everybody's just together, everybody just does their thing. Everybody, you just see, Will and Riley, you see Sun in the prison trying to just go by their lives like every other day. So it wasn't too much going for it. It wasn't too much forced energy. It was just what we needed. A perfect setup, a perfect opener to a hopefully perfect season 2. This episode also is 2 hours long, and at times I felt like they were trying to make it, the Wachowskis were trying to make it a film, because this episode was just directed by one of the Wachowskis, Lana Wachowski, after her surgery. And I could definitely see that she really was trying to make a sort of movie out of SENSE8. I mean, usually with a SENSE8 episode, there'll be 1 or 2 songs and maybe a few interactions between the characters, but other than that, it's just them going by their every day-to-day life, normally as if they're not connecting with everyone else. But with this episode, almost every scene, 2 characters that were in different sides of the world seemed to be connected. Another reason I kind of got the feel that they were trying to make a film out of it was the amount of montage sequences they used, pop theme songs, a lot of build-up, rather than other SENSE8 episodes that just have things that happen and events, rather than something like a film where it's sort of like the 3-act phase. It didn't have to spread everything out into 3 acts like the rest of the season would, because they were trying to make it a film. So I definitely got the feeling or the vision of Lana Wachowski of how she was trying to make SENSE8 into more of a movie-going experience. As usual, all the performances were excellent. The cinematography was just as usually beautiful. There's this really cool opening underwater sequence with this pop song playing in the background. I can't remember what it was, but it was just such a great setup and such a great intro back into the lives of these characters to immerse us back into this amazing universe, and it was just great. Still though, I'm not sold on Nomi. Again, she was rather bland and uninteresting in this episode, and a lot of her lines were delivered by what I felt like was forced. It was unnatural, it didn't feel even, and I could tell she was acting, which is not good. Highlights of this episode definitely include that opening sequence I just discussed, and another very interesting and sort of weird yet cruel orgy sequence where all of these characters are simultaneously having sex at the same time. And it's shot in such a way that it's like they're all together, yet they're not. They're just doing their thing in different parts of the world. That was a really nice and clever sequence. And another sequence I really enjoyed was the Hallelujah sequence, where they were playing the song from Hallelujah. And I do believe that this scene was shot afterwards, or the song was played in afterwards, because it didn't really sort of fit in with the scene or what the characters were going through, but yet they made it work with the editing. And it was just such a great scene as all the characters were doing their thing and the song was just looming in the background. The episode also did tend to lack on the action front. Not so many shootouts, not a lot of brutality, but there was one very, very satisfying action sequence at the very end of the last episode, actually the final scene of the episode, when Wolfgang had just started a battle between the gangs of Berlin, and their first rivalry, the first shootout occurred. And he had to fight off against them, and all of the SENSE8s together worked against fighting these thugs, these criminals, and it ended off with, I'm not even going to spoil how it ended off, but it ended off in a way where it just left you pumped for season 2. You were just like, alright, great opening, great intro, I loved everything about it, just Bring on May 10th. Come on, I need those other 10 episodes. Just give it to me. Yeah, as it was a Christmas episode, it did touch on a lot of morals and values of Christmas. It was a little bit more lighthearted. I did enjoy that episode, that about the episode. Some flaws I had with the episode was a little bit of the inconsistency in the pacing. Some of the editing, especially in the final action sequences, was really chopping. And I know they like to cut it up a lot to show what every character is doing in the fight, but it was just so jarring and so like, whoa, what's going on? To the point where it was kind of hard to really get into the fight. And that's about it. Also, they could have gone with a little bit of a trimmed down runtime, maybe 10 minutes shorter. I understand they're trying to make it 2 hours long to satisfy the viewers, but I didn't feel like it needed to be that long. But otherwise, fantastic episode. Conclusion, Sense8, A Christmas Special, served as a perfect opener to season 2 with excellent performances, beautiful cinematography, one very amazingly well choreographed action sequence, some very touching moments, and a lot of beautiful soundtracks and pop music with excellent directing to go with it. Fantastic episode of an otherwise known fantastic show. Not one of the best episodes of the series, but it is a great episode of a great show, and I am very well looking forward to season 2. Sense8, A Christmas Special gets an A.
She tied you to a kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair. And from